So you might be thinking about boating and what that really costs to get in. Maybe you're concerned about the initial purchase price. Well, on today's video, we're going to talk about just that. Although there's a lot to go into boat buying decision and the costs associated, today we're going to focus on the actual cost to buy a boat. Welcome to Len's Cove. My name's Sean Horsfall and I'm the owner of Len's Cove Marina, who was started by my grandfather Len in 1958. We talk to all kinds of people about boating, and one of the most common concerns is how much does it actually cost to get into boating? You've got a huge array of those choices, starting from the very low end of the market, going up to some very high-end luxury boats. So on today's video, we're going to break it down into what you can expect. We're going to give you a brief description of what boat ownership actually costs, and then we're going to focus on what the low end of the market is, what the average end of the boat buying market is, and what the high end of the boat buying market is. And try to give you a good overall picture of the day that you take the boat off the lot, what you can expect to pay for a boat. Boat ownership is a ton of fun, but there are costs involved. The cost of boat ownership is comprised of the initial purchase price of your boat, along with the cost to own it, minus the cost of what it is worth at the end of your boat ownership experience. Today, although there are a number of factors that are involved in cost of boat ownership, we're going to really focus on the initial purchase price, because that's the biggest part of it. It's the part that stresses people out, and it's the part that is almost always the first question. What does it cost to own a boat or to initially purchase it? So on today's video, we're going to go through all the different levels, and we'll start with the least expensive part of the market, or the entry-level part of the market. It often is a used boat, and it's often a boat that is either a number of years old or perhaps quite small. So we find here in Eastern Ontario and on the Big Rideau Lake that the boats that we sell at our dealership usually start around $5,000. So we consider the entry level of the market from about $5,000 to about $25,000. And that would cover off your small runabouts, probably in the 20-year-old range, maybe some older pontoons that are approximately 10 years old and are in the between $9,000 and $20,000 range. And it also might include some small fishing boats, aluminum with small outboards on it. So really anything below $5,000 we consider likely going to be a project boat, something that requires a bunch of maintenance or repairs to fix it up. And it really almost always starts at about $5,000 for something that is boating ready. Next, we talk about the average boating price, or the average price to purchase a boat here in Eastern Ontario. And we find across all the boats that we sell per year that the average boat price is $60,000. And that may seem high, and the reason is that we have quite a few that are on the higher end. So even though the average is $60,000, there are quite a few of those that would be grouped into the $25,000 to $80,000 range. And in that range, you can get a lot for your money. You can get fairly new pontoons, only a few-year-old runabout bow riders, some older small cruisers, some used towboats like Mastercraft or Nautique or Malibu, and even some brand new chaparral or bow riders, and some new pontoons, all fall in that category. So very, very easy to have a ton of choice in some very new or new boats that would range from $25,000 to say $85,000, and we would call that the average boat price to purchase a boat in Eastern Ontario. So if you're getting into boating and you want something on the higher end, in our marketplace here in Eastern Ontario, we really see that come in after $80,000. So from 80 to 100 and beyond, up to about $250,000 here in our marketplace, you would see brand new luxury runabouts, very, very high-end pontoon boats, towboats that would range from starting at $75,000 and going up from there into the cream of the crop luxury towboat in around $250,000. For that upper end of the market, you would see things like very new cruisers, 36-foot cruisers, stuff that is obviously for people who are either buying boats for the second or third time, or someone who has the ability to get into something more luxurious right off the bat. So as you can see, boat ownership or the purchase of a boat can be very inexpensive. Getting into owning a boat, taking it off the lot for around $5,000 as your entry point. Of course, it can go up from there, and there are many other factors to think about in the cost of owning a boat. You're going to think about things like insurance, fuel, maintenance and repairs, and eventually the depreciation of that boat and how much it will be worth after using it for a year or 5 years or more. For more resources on that, check out the description below. We have a bunch of online blogs and other posts that are going to help you figure out how much does it actually cost to own it. One of the greatest things about owning a boat is that it actually depreciates very slowly, completely differently than an automobile. So you'll find that even though the initial purchase price may be a significant number, owning it over the course of 5 years isn't actually as high as many people think about. So thanks very much for joining us on today's video, and we'll see you out on the water.